Hello, this is Tokyo Anesthesiology Clinic. This is Special Edition, Ep.7. In the previous episode, we talked about how after ketamine therapy, the first 3 days can be an opportunity for rewiring. This time, we will organize a more basic difference, the difference in the experience itself. How is ketamine different from psychedelics? Where are they similar? Where are they different? And why are they often confused? Today, we will ask our director, Dr. Tori. This video provides medical information for a general audience. We do not provide individual diagnoses or treatment advice. If you have symptoms, please seek evaluation at a medical institution. In an emergency, please use emergency medical services. This video uses the director's AI avatar, synthetic voice, and synthetic video. The content is supervised by the director.
Hello, I am Dr. Tori, the director. First, I will state the conclusion. Ketamine and psychedelics are not the same. In my own words, if I say it as simply as possible, psychedelics are hallucination. Ketamine is a dissociative experience. However, that does not explain everything. The starting point is different, but when the experience goes deeper, there can also be overlap. That is how I see it.
Doctor, when you say psychedelics here, what kinds of substances are you referring to?
Here, it may be easiest to think of substances such as psilocybin, LSD, or DMT. With those substances, changes in the external world tend to come forward first. How things look, how things sound, colors, shapes, the feeling of space, those things are more likely to change.
In your words, psychedelics are hallucination. Is that right?
Yes, of course, when I say hallucination, I do not mean a simple visual mistake, but as the entrance to the experience, changes in the outside world tend to come forward. A wall seems to move. A picture looks as if it is alive. Sound becomes more three-dimensional. Light and color change. Those kinds of changes. And another important point is that people and music can enter the experience easily. Relationships with others may feel closer. A sense of harmony may arise more easily. Words or music from the outside can enter directly into the experience. I think this is also one of the characteristics.
Then how is ketamine different?
With ketamine, rather than the outside world changing, the distance from oneself changes. The distance from the body, the sense of self, time, place, these things gradually begin to loosen. This is called a dissociative experience. Inside the brain, functions that support the fixed sense of self may temporarily loosen. Because of that, things deep within the mind, or sensations that are usually difficult to notice, may come forward as experience. Some people describe it as somewhat similar to a dream. However, rather than a dream seen while sleeping, it is an experience of moving inward while consciousness remains.
What does a dissociative experience feel like?
To put it simply, it is not that the outside world comes forward, it is more like entering into the inner world. The external world gradually becomes distant, it becomes blocked off, and then one goes deeper into oneself. Some people describe it as falling. At that moment, if someone speaks from the outside, it may feel disturbing. It feels noisy. You may want to be left alone. It may feel like, I'm almost reaching something, that kind of feeling. I think this point is quite different.
So psychedelics move in a direction where the outside opens. Ketamine moves in a direction where the outside closes and the person goes inward. Is that the difference?
Yes, that is a very close way to organize it. With ketamine, the deeper it becomes, the more the body may feel distant. Time may disappear, place may become unclear, and when one goes even deeper, there may be a feeling of nothingness, something like emptiness. A person may touch that kind of experience.
That sounds like a deep experience that also connects to the next episode's theme.
Yes. However, what is important here is that psychedelics and ketamine are not completely separate either. Even with ketamine, external changes or hallucination-like experiences can rarely occur. On the other hand, even with psychedelics, when the experience goes deep, a person may reach a feeling of nothingness or emptiness. So, the beginning is different, the entrance is different, but the final destination can overlap. That is how I see it.
Does this difference also affect how treatment is conducted?
Yes, it does. This is very important. With psychedelics, during treatment, words from another person or music may enter the experience easily. Therefore, there are frameworks where support and accompaniment during the session come to the front. On the other hand, with ketamine, people often go more inward. For that reason, I believe that during treatment, it is better not to add too many words from the outside. Prepare beforehand, do not interfere too much during treatment, and then pick up what remains afterward. In our clinical practice, this approach often fits better.
I see. This connects to the previous discussion about why the first 3 days after treatment are important.
Exactly. With ketamine, there is no need to explain everything or assign meaning to everything during the session. Rather, things may gradually become organized afterward. Something may remain afterward. That is why how the following days are used becomes important.
For viewers, is there a safe way to take this message home?
Yes. First, do not think of ketamine as simply a light psychedelic. On the other hand, do not think of it as just an anesthetic. What matters is that it belongs to neither category completely. Another point is not to compare them by asking which is stronger or weaker. What matters is not which is superior, it's about what kind of entrance the experience begins with, and what kind of support fits that experience. That's what we need to look at.
Finally, could you summarize?
There are 3 key points today. First, with psychedelics, changes in the external world, in other words, hallucination, tend to come forward. Second, with ketamine, a dissociative experience where the distance from the body or self changes tends to come forward. Third, however, when the experience goes deeper, there can also be overlap. The beginning is different, but the final destination can overlap. That is how I see it.
Thank you. Ketamine is not the same as psychedelics, but it's not completely unrelated either. Today, we organized that distinction. Next time, we will go further. The body disappears. Time disappears. You no longer know where you are. In deep ketamine experiences, what is happening? That will be our topic. This channel provides information for a general audience. We cannot respond to individual medical consultations. Thank you for watching today.
Thank you very much.